I'm Krishnamurthy from the interview portal. I'm back today to talk about a different topic. Today we are going to pick up agriculture as a topic of interest. I know in the last two sessions we discussed sports and automobiles. Agriculture is one more fantastic area that has been flying under the radar. But today is probably the best time for a student to pursue a career in agriculture because of the fascinating potential of this field. With the advent of data centric technologies, with machine learning, with data science, artificial intelligence, there are so many technologies at the disposal of farmers to help them, innovate, to help them to come up with better yielding crops, to get the return for their investment. And this technologies will be very helpful to farmers because farmers are the ones who are the most vulnerable segment today. And I'm sure that every student knows the importance of farming, right? We don't get our food without the farmers doing their job, so it becomes our duty to actually help in this noble career. So without wasting much time, let us go to let us look at a few careers in agriculture. Before we do that, this is our website, theinterviewportal.com. This is a website that lists out interviews of different professionals pursuing careers in offbeat areas, something pursuing something that they enjoy doing, right? So as you can see, there are a lot of tags here for each interview. These tags actually tell you what area the interview relates to. For example, digital media professional relates to entertainment and media. Exclude science and medical, does not involve science. This person works in an area related to films, also has been a journalist, and also works in broadcast journalism. So for every interviews, there are a lot of tags that each interview is classified under that will help you navigate to a specific interview and read about it. Okay, so now let's go down, scroll down. You also have a search bar here where you can search a particular term. If you don't want to, if you go down, you see this option, agriculture and farming. Let's click that. So as before, I'm not going to really focus too much on one interview. I'm going to kind of give you a summary of the different areas of agriculture that these professionals are pursuing. The first interviews of a photobiologist. It's a very fascinating area. Basically, this person is a researcher, PhD in agriculture, horticulture, and then switched to indoor farming. Indoor farming is a new concept that is coming up today to tackle the issues of adaptation to change. There are a lot of issues beyond our control, like climate, right? Rain, flood. So, a lot of the new technology is shifting farming to indoors, where we use the power of technology to be able to give crops the raw materials, give crops the attention they need in terms of water management, in terms of temperature management, and any other fertilizer that you need. So indoor farming is the concept where you use technology to control the conditions. It's also called a kind of precision agriculture, where you're using the indoor environment to give the right conditions to a particular crop for development, whether it be water or climate or anything else. So we're using the concept of AIoT, that is called artificial intelligence of things, to control these different conditions to make sure that the yield of the crop is as good as possible. Read this interview of the photobiologist to understand what they do. Next is winemaker. This person actually works in a winery. As you know, the main raw material for winemaking is grape seed. So this person works with farmers to make sure the right quantity and quality of grapes are available, to make sure that you get the best possible wine, and different types of wines. You know, right? The variety of the wine depends on the type of grape that is sown. So it's a fascinating area where you not only sow the seeds, see the grapes, but actually use these grapes as the critical ingredient in the wine, and you're able to figure out how evolution of that grape all the way into the bottle of the wine, right? So it's a very interesting area if you really want to see the entire life cycle of a raw material and how it goes into the final beverage that uses that raw material. Next is corporate sustainability. Corporate sustainability is a very important area today, with our world facing so many challenging issues related to environment, climate, water. So nowadays every company that uses raw materials employs corporate sustainability professionals who make sure that whatever profits are being generated by the organization are in tune with sustainability goals. This is very important for companies like Pepsi and Coca-Cola, which are highly water intensive, natural resource intensive. They hire a lot of corporate sustainable professionals to make sure that their profitability is aligned with their sustainability goals, to make sure that the future world is very focused on sustainability. Next is solar engineer. This interview might not appear related to agriculture, but this person actually works for the benefit of farmers in Ladakh, Leh, which is an extreme temperature, where the temperatures touch to almost minus 25 to minus 30. So he actually develops solar products for farmers in that area who can use the power of the sun as a heating controller, temperature controller. You know, right, in the nights when there's no current, farmers need heating equipment. So this person works on building products that can actually be used, that can use the power of the sun to provide heating in the night during extremely cold temperature. Next is the plant genomics professional. She's a PhD postdoc in Spain, where she actually works on the genomics of drought resistant crops. That is, tries to analyze the genetic mechanism of crops to make them drought resistant. As we know, our climate is becoming more and more extreme, and in sometimes we have to deal with crops that have to exist in different kinds of conditions of high heat or extreme cold. So she works in the lab trying to find out the conduct research into the genetic mechanisms of crops that are extremely drought tolerant. Next is an environmental microbiologist, very important career, who uses who performs research into agricultural waste and tries to see what the waste that can be used for manufacturing biofuels. Right, nowadays, till now, most of the farmers who have been using the agricultural waste, that waste is typically burnt, and that is again a major cause of pollution. So this person actually tries to see if that waste can be leveraged to create better products in an environmentally friendly way. One prime example being biofuels. Right, biofuels are the ones that are going to be replacing petrol and diesel in the future. So he is trying to explore ways in which this agricultural waste can be converted in something that can be useful in the future. The next person is a researcher who's working in Israel, agricultural scientist, who's actually Israel is known for desert agriculture. Right, they don't use too much groundwater for their crops. Right, so she is working in a lab in Israel to see how the shelf life of agricultural products can be extended. Dry and wet products can be extended, because we know that, right, when agriculture produce is sold in different markets, it needs to have a longer lifespan to make sure that it doesn't get spoiled. So she is doing research in the shelf life. Next is the agricultural data scientist, who works with farmers to give them the right knowledge to make decisions on how much of fertilizer to add, how much of water to add, what kind of yield that particular crop can get based on the weather or based on other things. So she uses satellite information to be able to get this information and provide it in the right time to customers. She's an agricultural data scientist, a very interesting area combining computers, data and agriculture. Next is another interesting area, plant pathologist. A pathologist is a person who researches diseases. So this person actually researches diseases in crops. It could be flowers, it could be fruits, it could be vegetables. Diseases. So every type of crop is faced with certain varieties of diseases. So she looks at diseases that affect flowers. So you can choose any specific crop that you're interested in and try to find out what kind of diseases that particular crop face, and try to resolve those issues, because that is going to help increase the productivity of that crop. The next person is an agri-business professional who basically is an MBA professional in agriculture. He manages the logistics of various fruits and vegetables. Basically, we know, right, the vegetables and fruits that we eat sometimes come from different countries, different states, different continents. So unless someone is able to manage the logistics of that process, we will never be able to get the crops or fruits we need in time and the best price possible. So he is agricultural manager dealing with logistics. The next area is a patent analyst. Very interesting area. Patent analyst is a person who basically supports innovations. Now today, every benefit that we have from agriculture comes from some innovation, and unless that innovation is protected, we cannot get the benefit of that innovation. So this person is a researcher who's transitioned into patent law. Now she works for a company that helps innovators patent their innovation, so that they get the benefit, the monetary benefit of that innovation, to make sure they're able to sustain it and that innovation reaches the customer. If those innovations are not protected with patents, we will not be able to reap the benefits of that innovation. And last but not the least, we have the interview of a digital agronomist who actually works in the area of precision agriculture. It combines data science and a lot of other areas where you use the power of computers and data to give farmers timely, relevant and rich information that can help them make decisions in terms of yield, in terms of water management, in terms of pest management, all that. So as you can see, we've seen so many different and diverse areas of agriculture, today agriculture as a career is a highly cross-functional area, multidisciplinary area. So please read through these interviews and try to figure out what kind of area you want to be involved in. But you can be involved in bioinformatics, you can be involved in data science, machine learning, or even pathology. So read through it and try to understand the approach of these professionals. That will give you a very good idea of what you want to do. Thanks a lot for sparing your time. I look forward to meeting you next time.